Okay. From 3, last take.
Should we make sure the camera's still going?
I got a bunch of space.
Okay, good.
It is. It's only been 23 minutes.
Okay, good.
Okay. Intro 1 is done after this take, and we're going to keep it short. Knock us out. Howdy, let's get rowdy.
Okay. Howdy, let's get rowdy.
Indeed. And we did for 9 episodes, and I'm proud of it. We amassed over 500 views, and I want to thank you all so much for watching, and we'll keep going and keep amassing more of you, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Thank you guys for all that you've done, all the commenting, all the topics that you guys have given to us. We don't take lightly.
Some of you guys are out there fact-checking. Some of you guys are contributing.
Deeply research these topics that our followers, our great listeners have sent us. This is, I would almost put academic level research. Let's be honest. It is better than what universities are doing today.
Yes.
As far as their studies,
just by listening to this podcast, you are doing more than Harvard, Yale, MIT, and today
Princeton.
And today, to further our academic credibility, we're gonna do something slightly serious. We conducted an interview a few months ago that I think you guys are gonna like very much. And if you thought the holiday season was over, you're wrong, because we're celebrating the 4th year anniversary of the Stop the Steal movement.
Yes, we are. In a very big way, too.
In a big way. We've been sitting on this footage for a while. I'm pretty proud of it, and I don't have much else to say. I hope you guys enjoy.
These people are some of the most loving people you have ever met in your life. It is amazing. I am so happy to have had this opportunity to do this. It is truly a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for both of us.
Yeah, of course. Special thanks to our guest, obviously.
Thank you.
Biggest shouts out to her. She's better at broadcasting than we are. And you'll see this was an absolute treat. It's going to be long. It's going to be 2 parts today and tomorrow. And, yeah.
Thank you guys very much.
Enjoy. Like, subscribe. Please keep commenting. Please tell us what you think about this.
Keep the topics coming.
I would like to note also that there are some points in this where I might get a little gay, because I tend to forget that I'm a dumb person and not a journalist, actually.
We are from Wilmington, North Carolina, and our whole family is still there, and I've been there my whole life until recently this year. My husband travels for work, and I joined him on the road when our children grew up and moved away.
Yeah.
So I love it. This is our, we've been in Oklahoma for 7 months. We're leaving here. We're heading to
Mm-hmm.
It would be nice to get closer back to home so we can pop in when we'd like. This has been a good distance for us. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been in the RV?
A year.
Nice.
Yeah, a whole year. It's our first year, and we love it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a different backyard and not as much to take care of. Left all the upkeep behind. We actually just rented our family home out, and just, when we go back, we just stay with other family because there's always someone in our house. So
That's awesome. Is that stressful? How are you guys doing that? Like Airbnb, or do you have it like full time? Oh, nice.
And we honestly couldn't do it without our handy-dandy yard guy. He takes care of our pool and the yard. We have some girls that clean.
Mm-hmm.
Could not do it without them. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you grow up? Well, first of all, let me say, this is our guest who will remain unnamed, and you will see why very shortly. But we as soon as we heard her story and some of the things she's seen and done, we knew we had to have her on the pod. And this is our first semi sort of journalistic endeavor. So we're going to try not to botch this and be gracious hosts.
You're doing great so far.
Yeah, this is not the normal ball-busting banter and funny guy stuff.
Oh, it's serious.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying your ball busting, though.
That's good.
No, I grew up in a suburb of Wilmington. It's actually the Green Swamp. So country. I grew up on horses.
Yeah.
My husband grew up in the same county, but he grew up on the beach. So, and fun fact, slightly odd, but we met in high school, and we married, like 4 years after high school. So we just celebrated our 27th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What's the secret?
I'm older than that, but
That's a hard accomplishment. It really
you
is.
have no idea.
Right?
First
Right.
one?
I'm sorry, what?
First one?
Marriage?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I met him when I was 14, so
That's wonderful.
yep. So we've been through it all.
I didn't do the math on that. That might have been an obvious question.
Yep. He's like, how country are you? Yeah. This is a deliverance situation.
Yeah.
No, so, and I just met Chaz like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
I wish we'd met each other like the whole time. Yeah.
How long you been at this park?
Since March.
Nice.
Yep.
Soaked up a full summer out here?
Yep. Very hot.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's very hot.
Oklahoma summers are known for that.
Yep. So the weather just got good, and now we'll probably have to leave in a month or so. So that's how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, Chad came over the other night, and we got to talking about some political things, and then one thing led to another, and here I am. This is fun.
What do you
watch
think
the
of the
debate
VP
together.
debate? Oh, yeah, the debate.
Oh, I think JD did excellent.
Yeah.
I wish we could get Trump to talk like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I mean, I like Trump, but he lets his mouth get in his
Mhm.
way sometimes.
Yeah.
So JD went and yelling like, they're eating pets, you know.
Uh-huh.
He handled himself, and it was nice to see.
What do you think about that? Are they eating the pets?
I think they're sacrificing them, maybe. Like, I don't know. You see the videos of the police and the lady killing the cat in the driveway. I didn't know anything about it, but of course Trump says it, so you try to research it.
Mm-hmm.
The best I can see is maybe there were some cats killed.
Yeah.
But different cultures, I guess. I
Do
don't
you
know.
think that was just a crackheaded American citizen, or do you think that was a immigrant?
You know, she never really talked. She just had blood all over her. So I'm not sure.
Could be spun either
Could be
way.
either
on
way.
the media.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
I'd
a
like
lot,
to give
there's a
them
lot
the
of
benefit
places,
of the doubt.
There's a lot of places in America you can get white people doing that.
Yeah.
Also true. Young children, not. Serial
Yeah.
killers. It's fine.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But the people that called, they felt like, did they not insinuate that she was foreign?
I mean, that's a
The
fair assumption to
911
make.
call?
That's a fair assumption to make
Yeah.
when you're looking at it.
So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe people are killing the pets. I don't know. I just didn't feel like it should be really discussed on a debate stage among presidents. But
Yeah.
that's just me.
Right.
Not pointing my finger or judging. Like, I wouldn't be up there anyway. So.
Yeah.
This seems like common consensus, but do you think? So you think Trump's performance this year, like on like his speaking terms, on his public speaking, is worse than the last time around 8 years ago?
No, I actually think it's better. I just
Yeah.
think it could still be better.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's very passionate. I understand that. I get carried away. I'm passionate too about things and kind of overshoot a little. And I think he just gets really passionate and can't get it all out. So I appreciate him for that. But when you see JD hold it together, you know, like he did, and make his points,
He made a lot of fans. I was seeing a lot on the internet about that.
it really, I mean, it was refreshing comparatively to what we've seen in the last 10 years, I'll say. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy debates anyway, and that one seemed to be kind of old school.
Yeah.
And how they handled it.
Yeah.
So, even Waltz, like, he kept his stuff together decently. I felt like it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I
good.
love that you had a debate party in your lawn.
Oh,
Square up with the mic.
When I was in community college, I was in charge of this little building for tutoring, and the night of the debate, I hosted a debate party and had snacks and everything, and had like maybe a dozen people show up.
Mhm.
So that just sent me right back to that.
oh yeah.
Right back to that.
Yep. I was excited about it too. Like,
Mhm.
Yep, we kind of did that one with the presidential debate, but I was in the mountains, and there's this huge fire, and a bigger TV, and but there wasn't as many people because we were in the mountains. But
Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of did the same thing, and we were yelling at the TV and throwing things at the TV on that one. So this one went much better as far as crowd response at my party.
What did you think of the presidential debate? Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
yeah.
Speechless. Like, I wish he could have held it together better.
The first half was really strong.
Yeah.
I was watching. I was pumped on the first half. I was like, "Fuck it, dogs and cats. That's what we're hitting."
That's yeah. And the thing was, he wasn't lying really about his stuff. It
was sort of sporadic.
Yeah, it was, and she got him. Like, she messed him up, and he couldn't get it back together.
I noticed that the media had definitely boosted Waltz up, doing the moving background, and anything you can do for production value.
Yes,
that was definitely involved.
Yes, you were mentioning that night.
Yeah,
it was. They had him looking good, but like I said, it's hard to make JD look bad. So he's
true.
Yeah, I was
a
impressed.
good-looking kid.
This
so
is a better VP.
Yeah.
So what?
Yeah.
You're from North Carolina, and I know there was a dam that broke there. Okay, folks. So we knew something was fishy afoot from all this, the pure government neglect and complete disregard for a relief effort of a flood that seemed almost planned. This made everyone who was conspiracy minded, like myself, think something was fishy afoot. And I had to continue following this story because I knew someone would find something, or maybe the government would release something. And sure enough it did. It's been a few months since that recording, and on the U.S. Department of Defense website, there is an article titled DoD Enters Agreement to Expand Domestic Lithium Mining for U.S. Battery Supply Chains. And it states, the Office of the Assistant Secretary for Industrial Base Policy, through its Manufacturing Capability Expansion and Investment Prioritization Office, entered an agreement with the Albemarle Corporation to support the expansion of domestic mining and production of lithium. The $90 million agreement, entered into under Defense Production Act Title III, authorities and utilizing funds appropriated by the Inflation Reduction Act, will help support Albemarle's planned reopening of their Kings Mountain, North Carolina mine to increase domestic production of lithium for the nation's battery supply chain. Albemarle estimates that Kings Mountain will be operational between 2025 and 2030. Sounds like they got it done lickety-split. The mountain that our guest is referencing throughout the episode is the Kings Mountain mine that the Department of Defense has seized. Now, back to the show. Lake Lure Dam.
Yep.
That's Hurricane Helene, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell us about so I can you tell us about that? And on social media I've seen this video of a military Black Hawk helicopter coming down to some can you explain that to us?
Yep. That I saw that video as well. So it happened in Burnsville when I mentioned to you that I was in the mountains. That's where we go to lunch and grocery shop and all of that when we're there. So I'm familiar with the town. And a friend of mine from Wilmington had been up there with a team to help give medications and things like that. So these easy ups, these tents were all set up with supplies. And it's getting large. The community, the two people I know that went up there, my friends that are on the mountain presently and living there, no one has seen FEMA. No one has seen really any military at all. That what they have seen is a community coming together. Just these random country boys on the road, fixing roads and taking care of themselves. An outpouring of just normal citizens getting it up there, what they need and getting it done. So the first time they see a military helicopter, just came very low and blew it all down. For what reason?
Like
we
they
don't know.
flew.
They flew
like
so
dusted
close
them?
to the ground that the
Rotor
wind from the
wash.
helicopter knocked the tents down and all the stuff went flying and
Yeah.
Destroyed some relief
yeah,
supplies.
yeah. And I know that people are saying that that was an intentional thing, and
How could it not be?
I know that's what they're saying. I mean, I try to look at the best. Like maybe it was just a really bad driver. Like maybe
a pilot
he didn't
accident?
know, you know, and everyone disagrees. They're like, you can't fly a helicopter and not know that that's getting ready to happen.
He was
So,
about to land on the supplies
yeah.
and squish it and then take back off.
Do you think that's
Yeah.
an overly common line of thought that mistakes like that are often attributed to ignorance over malfeasance? Like, do you try to stick to that? Do you
I
put
do.
the positive first?
I do.
Because I think I have a brain that kind of tends to go that.
I-
Obviously, they did that to squash any like
I
populism.
know. I've heard your podcast.
Yeah.
I'm like, these poor babies are so young and jaded already.
Yeah, I don't trust these people.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So yeah.
This
Yes.
is the Kill Your Leaders podcast.
I would like to believe in general that most people are trying their best and doing good.
That keeps you sane in the morning when you wake up.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think it's rare just to come across a person that's intentionally trying to be evil and malice. I mean, most of the time, you get a lot of self-absorbed people.
Yeah.
A lot of people on their phones. Like maybe the pilot was on his phone. Maybe he was playing Candy Crush. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, could happen. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Had too many ecstasy the night before at the rave.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The shore
Pilots
leave.
do that.
Shore leave was going well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Hungover maybe. I got
Uh-huh.
you.
Oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Mm. So there's not, but no, there hasn't been an outpouring of help for them in the government. And also Asheville, like I can't speak for Asheville. They're 45 minutes from that where Lake Lure is. This Burnsville community where the helicopter was and where my friends are, it's a small community on Green Mountain. There's like 400 people on that mountain. So her sister and some of us are just trying to really contact people and shed some light to help the smaller communities that were not getting help or, you know, even like welfare checks. So
Zero assistance from
Correct.
the government.
Right.
Or community or the
What
state.
do you think sorry to step on that. What do you think the proper governmental response is for a natural disaster like that?
Oh, I mean, I think they should do what they do. They should come and set up medical tents, like these people for people that need medical care. They need to give financial assistance where that is needed. Keep an organized running of supplies. You know, maybe even organized, because there was a problem when my friend went up, because there's not this big communication hub and a lot of different groups coming together. The first day was a bust because nobody knew what to do or where to go. A bunch
Not
of different
centralized.
groups, right. So, I mean, they definitely should head that off. I mean, I feel like that's what they train for all year. Like, this is what they do.
Yeah.
And
That's
I
your
certainly
emergency response manager's
do
duty.
not think FEMA should be bankrupt at this point.
Yeah.
Like, that has been the most disturbing thing. And not that these people are really, they're very proud. They're not even trying to take the supplies really, you know, would really cash in on that per se. But to get up and say it's just not available to our citizens is pretty disgusting.
Do you know of any food shortages or what shortages are actually happening there? Like, are the people able to wipe their ass after they should? Are they going hungry?
Yeah,
Are they
like
thirsty?
these people, man, they
happening?
are they are mountain people. So my friend who found this elderly lady, her road was okay, but she did not have power and she did not have any phone service. So he approaches her. He had supplies that he was trying to give her. Son, I don't need anything. You take that up the road to somebody that needs it worse than me. I mean, this lady's like 80, right? And he's trying to talk her into taking these things. And waters, you must need water. Nope, I have a stream out in the back.
Oh my.
So they're doing it like with these streams. They're boiling water, they're heating wood, and boiling their water and keeping it clean.
So these are homestead people
Correct.
living off the land.
They've done it before and they're doing it now.
They don't need government reliance.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's who they are.
Yeah.
So, and he left because at the end of it, she said, well, young man, you look a little tired. I've just made dinner. Come on in here and eat with me. Like, they're really just kind of used to this, I guess, if I'd say anything. They're not used to having any kind of help and used to doing everything and pulling together as a community to get things done.
The church is where the action happens.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then little volunteer fire departments and, you know, everybody's doing everything they can do. Guys with chainsaws, just going everywhere. So the newer people coming in, they're just kind of looking at them like, what are you guys doing? Like, we got this. But, you know, still, I'm sure the big problem was people with babies getting baby formula and diapers. So that was a big thing. The need I'm hearing now is gas for chainsaws, propane.
Fuel.
Yes. So, you know, because there's no power, like even in Burnsville or the places they usually go to get these things. If there's no power, there's no pumps. So
Can't run your generator.
Correct. Generators and, you know, they just need gas.
So how far is the radius until they have to truck fuel in? Like, if you live there, how far do I have to drive in my pickup truck with my 20-gallon tanks?
They're having to go into Johnson City, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
About 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Up a pass. And when my nephews first did it, they
Stranded.
got behind no kind of government or police. They got into a band of cars and trucks, people with chainsaws, and they cut their way through that pass. I think they said it took them like 3 hours, but they would just all jump out of their cars, cut up the trees, move it, and keep going and keep going. And so till they could get to Johnson City, which is also where they could get service. So with their cell phones, because cell towers went down.
God.
So they haven't had any communication. So they're getting there, calling us. I mean, my nephew, his little voice just sounded like an angel's when we finally heard him, you know, because we had no idea if they were okay. I was in touch with a guy that ran a drone. I was trying to get him to fly a drone and make sure they're not sitting on top of their house. I mean, that was the situation.
Yeah.
They were lucky. They were very high up, and they just had trees down.
Do you think there is a what do you think the death toll is?
So again, my friend that came up from Wilmington there, they went to clean out a little RV park, a small one, you know. But he said when they got there, it was like the size of 2 football fields, and you couldn't see the ground for debris and things. But they did not, in fact, get in there to clean it up because they smelt dead bodies.
Oh.
And they contacted the fire department. So the fire department, then they went in, and anyway, they ended up discovering 9 bodies.
In one house? Or is that
in one
not the
RV
whole
park.
One RV park?
It was a small RV park. There were some people out tent camping. Because the thing about it,
It flooded instantly? Is that what happened?
Yeah, like the river swelled up.
And they were in their tents. Were they asleep?
The people tent camping, I don't know. They just found them deceased. So I don't know their story, but I guess there were people in their RVs. And someone said that it was, they sent in like 1,000 body bags, but, you know, I don't think they know yet. There's more people missing right now than found deceased. So they just don't know, but there are definitely some people that lost their lives in that
Initial
area.
Flood.
Yeah.
The initial hour.
Yes. So I thought the dam had broke. It's ironic. My husband, that's what he does for a living. He's here working on this dam.
Really?
I thought it had broke. He said, no, it didn't break. It just went over it.
Huh.
So, no.
So don't they have like protocols and measures in place for that to
Well, you would think. But that also hasn't happened that far inland. So I'm from Wilmington. We get a hurricane every year. Like, I'm used to hurricanes. The mountains has not had that happen. I think they said 77 years ago, and it wasn't that bad. So it's not a common place for this to happen. And when it did, it really did.
So it's like a once in 100 year flood.
Yes,
type
correct.
thing.
Correct.
Once in 500 year flood.
Mm-hmm. My friend went into today and got some signal and called me, and driving through, she said we won't see it repaired in our lifetime.
Really?
It's that much damage. Yep.
That much.
So right now they just need guys with chainsaws. My husband was concerned about when they would be able to get building materials in, but my friends on the mountain and my nephews and my friend that went, he said the need is cleanup. It's going to be quite some time before building materials even become a thing.
Do you think it's going to be more and more important to stay equipped like this and to stay in touch with your community? I mean, if the precedent is going to be that no one's going to come help you, like, do you think that's the message they're sending overall?
I don't know that they're trying to send a message. I think it unless you just have your head in the sand, it is what it is.
Yeah.
This is how it is.
Yeah.
My friends have been preparing for this for 4 years.
Mhm.
You know, not necessarily this catastrophe, but they certainly were prepared for this to be going on. So
An
they're doing well.
apocalyptic style event.
Correct.
That's not really like an apocalypse, but it's just the government stopping
Correct.
their normal function of duties
That's right.
and returning to what
Yep.
some could say a medieval state of government.
Right. There's not one
Where-
person there, probably in Asheville, but nobody on Green Mountain has ever lived their life waiting on the government to do anything for them.
Yeah.
So they actually were more prepared than all of the rest.
That's how people are back here. You know, we grew up out in the sticks.
Mm-hmm.
And for, the generations before me and my family got by just fine. They ate and hunted squirrels, and my great grandpa served in World War II. He didn't know a lick of English. He was a farmer. They were completely self-sustaining.
Right. That's what they're after.
Yeah.
So, and right now, that's a good thing for them that they all had that in their back pocket,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yep, and they're all ATVs. Like everybody has that there, so they were ready with generators to hook to their, I mean, I was just there, maybe 4 days before it happened. I came back to Oklahoma,
Mm-hmm.
and we were eating dinner, and they were like, no, we're eating what's out of the freezer. We'd like to get another cow, but we've got to get rid of all the stuff in the freezer first. So I personally know they were stocked and ready for food.
Yeah.
So they immediately just took their refrigerators and freezers in that garage to the generator, and that's what they've been eating off of.
Are these the type of people that have like 2 giant drop-in
Yes.
freezers in their garage where they put their
Not
deer
even
that
drop
they've
in,
shot?
just the double, the towers
Yeah.
of freezers
Yeah.
and refrigerators.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they
That's-
hunt and they
Mm-hmm.
cut their own meat,
Yeah.
put their venison right in the freezer,
Yep.
bag it up.
Yep. They actually are raising sheep.
Sheep.
Yep. So they're killing one little.
Only thing that can survive the mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Sheep, and they have a lot of chickens, a lot of eggs, and they do a garden. I enjoy going up every year and helping with the garden. We've been canning quite a bit.
Cannon.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
All the ball jars.
Yep. That's
Uh-huh.
it.
Uh-huh. Heck yeah.
So my grandmother, I used to do that with her when I was a kid, and now we're right back at it. It's a good skill to have.
My granny just sent me some pickled okra and some salsa.
Oh yeah, that's right. You can't beat it.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah.
Some good stuff.
Do they have a root cellar?
They do.
Ooh.
So yeah, they keep the cans down there. My nephew's mother-in-law lives there, and they keep it in her cellar. So yeah, and they're getting another one.
That's just about the only way you can live moving forward.
Yeah.
In this country.
And what's nice, and you guys might be interested in this, like our food, there's no additives to it. Like it's all natural. But
Mhm.
my friend, she gets real upset. You can just see planes flying and spraying, and we have no idea, and they can't find out what it is.
Yeah, I just saw it was on the floor of the New Hampshire Supreme Court. They were talking about it openly, and they called it atmospheric injections and cloud seeding. The legality of these things were called into question for the first time.
Yeah.
So it was almost like that is like a declassification almost. It's
Yep.
like this is what's going on, and luckily some state congressman in New Hampshire's a little fed up and is willing to speak up about it.
Probably because he heard about the very first Saudi Arabian flood happening in the middle of Abu Dhabi. Or was it Dubai? One of those.
Yeah,
mega
it
cities.
rained.
Yeah, no, it didn't just rain. It didn't stop raining 6 inches per hour for half a day.
And they did it with cloud seeding.
And they did it through accidental cloud seeding. They put
Yeah.
too much in there, and apparently there was too much moisture in their air because of all the atmospheric whatever.
Mhm.
Their calculations were a little bit off. They put too much of the ammonia. Was it? Ammonium something. Yeah, it's some part of aluminium.
That's
that they're spraying in
interesting
the
you're
atmosphere.
saying that. She is like really really going at it about these planes flying, and then now
Mm-hmm.
there's this mass devastation there. No idea what or how, why they're doing it, but she's been long upset about it.
Well, if they can cause a landslide to happen around there from a flood by just flying an airplane around
That's
there,
brand new real estate.
would they do it? Because that's good real estate. What if they need to open a mine right there and they need you to sell your land for pennies on the dollar so they can open up a mine in that very nice mountainous real estate?
Can we say Maui?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's all
let's
fun and
talk
games
about
till-
Maui.
till they hit
We
you with the
gotta
space
talk about
laser.
Maui now.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on Oprah owning the largest farm in Hawaii and Obama buying the second largest?
I mean, I
Farm.
feel like that's going to be their refuge
Yeah,
when they set our country on fire.
yeah. The nukes won't hit them there.
Absolutely.
They can set the nukes off in China, Japan, and America, and they will be fine.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, right across the way from Green Mountain is a very, very, very lucrative granite mine.
There it is. There it is, folks. You heard it here first.
We can see it. Like, we see the little smoke
Yeah.
coming up. Know a couple of people employed there. Their electric bill every month, my friend loves to say, like, their electric bill is millions a month.
Mm-hmm.
So I should ask them next time, like, is the granite mine up and running? Because I'd be very surprised. Like, what if it's not running? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it is lit. You can see
2
it.
beers.
Tape over the label.
2 beers.
When he
yeah,
comes
we
back
get-
on,
we
we're
had-
gonna have to get an assistant when he gets back on the mic. Next episode, we need we need a beer guy.
Yeah, we're gonna
I
have
got
Bruce
used to
over
that
here.
too quick. Yeah.
Chase is doing great, though.
Yeah. So you're how did you first get your finger on the pulse of these sort of populist happenings? Like, how did you first get involved with the open communication about these happenings and going on? Like, how do you stay in touch?
What got you started in politics, rather?
Essentially.
Oh, my whole life. Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
I mean, as a little girl, I loved Ronald Reagan. Like, he was the guy. He still is to me.
Yeah.
I know that there's,
Oh, my dad's the same way. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
just a Reagan Republican. Like, I've always been interested, remain interested. Couldn't wait to vote for the first time. That was a very big
Same
deal
way.
for me.
Yeah.
Same way. Yeah.
Both
of us.
Yeah.
Hated it because the first time I voted, lost to Clinton. So
We voted for Kanye West.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Me and
We
like
sure
12
did.
of my friends.
Did you?
All of us. All of us.
Did you?
We all
Yeah.
basically abstained from voting.
Uh-huh.
Does anybody remember Ross Perot?
Yeah, I've heard of him. Yeah.
So
yeah, I've heard of him.
here's the thing. Like, I was so angry about it. I mean, I liked Ross. I got what he was saying, something new. But
My guy.
we knew that the vote was going to split, and we were just handing it to the Democrats, almost as if he were a plant. Like, you just knew.
A plant.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Can we say from who? Or from where? Or which?
The Democrats.
Yeah.
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 Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I did vote for it. When you're younger, what did Reagan say? If you are not liberal when you're young, you have no heart. And if you are not conservative when you're old, you have no brain.
Yeah, we've been bleeding heart leftists until, pretty much recently.
Yeah. I voted for, I went to a Bernie Sanders rally.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Right? Yeah,
we
you
were-
can find that on my Instagram.
We were in it. We had communist
Yeah.
pins in high school and the whole thing. We were.
Oh, yeah.
We were in it.
Yeah.
And,
I was at high school at the round table talking about how good China is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you have really come around and about.
Yeah, there's sort of deceptions that really prey on the emotions of the child in that way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you're the they really do target the kids. Like, you're the future, and we need your vote. Damn it, the evil populist Republicans.
They want better for your grandchildren. You got to, they're bad. They want better for your grandchildren.
Right.
yeah.
They want you to own a home. Isn't that so bad?
Right. Right. Like, it's if you think about it, Well, I do not want to bring it up.
Go for it.
I mean, honestly, that's how I've always wondered how Hitler got the Germans to follow him in that evil.
Mm-hmm.
And it just really struck me. So in school, you just research and research before the internet, and all I can come up with, and I think everyone will agree, he invoked fear in them.
Mm-hmm.
He told them lies about a race of people and invoked such a fear that he was able to control them. And history repeats itself.
Mm-hmm.
Is that happening in America right now? 100%.
Yeah.
COVID. Look what they were able to do with that.
Yeah,
You
I think
know?
a lot of people. I mean, the MK Ultra people. I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Fully believe that that's how these psyops operate. Is a traumatic event has to happen to trigger. That's what the LSD studies were. In the Leary days and in the Harvard. That's how Kaczynski got set off. All those people. The main point of that was they lure you into a prostitute, and then before you knew what happened, the walls would be melting, and that's a traumatic event, and then the mind control is able to sort of prey on the survival instinct that comes from that. Things like, people argue endlessly about 9/11 and the COVID thing, and it's probably the same. It's probably the same thing. They're sort of designed to open up the fear part of your brain,
Right.
and prey on it.
Right. I told Chaz I was so proud of him. It was so nice to see someone younger, actually, and I appreciate you saying, about Bernie Sanders and how you have come around, that there are really some younger free thinkers, and that you guys aren't just being led around the nose by the media. Like it really brings my generation some hope, because we're quickly losing it.
Yeah, to have
We're
faith
here to
in
bring
the
it back.
to have faith in the media at this point. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the truth. Even on the most the most basic of levels, you interact with it, like on the Twitter or YouTube. To me, the portrait of what I think I'm sensitive to when I'm being dog walked around, or when something's being supplanted into me a little bit. I think our generation has a sort of sense of mistrust generally. I mean, all the people I talk to my age have a general mistrust of what they're being told
Right.
at all times.
Right.
There's so many things that conflate. You got hypocrisy when you're young between religion and then everything else you're hearing.
That's
you got your
right.
parents' religion, the traditional values of people that
You
are
do.
around you, your grandmother, your
You do, and
community,
please
Boy
don't think
Scouts.
that our generation
you know.
doesn't have a heart for you, because we certainly do. Y'all have been exposed to y'all. You hear that?
Y'all.
Have been exposed to so many other things that we didn't have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
thank
Yes.
God there was no cell phone and camera footage of me when I was a
That's what my
teenager.
mom always says.
You know, like
Yeah.
my goodness, and nobody. Like in school, if someone had something bad to say to you, they had to walk up to you.
Yeah.
They weren't sending a
Yes.
text.
Yeah, there's a picture of like every mistake I've ever made.
Yes.
It's
I
on-
mean,
it's
right.
Yeah, it's
completely
there.
I
documented.
mean,
Yeah.
and you have to keep living with it and living with it, and we just didn't have to do all of that. We were able to leave high school right where it was and move on with our lives.
Yeah. You didn't have this
And-
constant
That's
Yeah,
correct.
thing
And I
keeping-
just
yeah.
have this, it just makes me sick for you guys. Like, I just hate it.
It also doesn't allow you to grow and mature because you're kept in this
Keeps
high
you
school
isolated.
brain. It keeps you isolated in that group.
I
You
mean,
don't
we're
go
told
often.
we're told boomers are bad and millennials are bad, and not to seek the wisdom or advice, or not to do what these people have done. And the clear motive of that is to cut us off from these lines of people who, like you're saying, do things about who do things about problems. Like when the flood hits, people who really do bootstrap. We're told all of those people are crazy, and to avoid them.
I appreciate you saying that. That brings a little bit of clarity for me, because you're right. Like,
There's a lot of callousness towards old people.
23-year-olds now, they seem like they're like 17 or 18. You know,
That's what the
just
teachers say, is that their middle school
so-
kids are now feeling younger, like fourth graders.
and so angry with us. And we're
Yeah.
thinking, look, like we've cared for you and supported you, and like we're your biggest fan, and it seems like you just can't stand us, and everything we say is stupid, and you think like they're 23 now, they should be growing out of this, like
Right.
they should be coming too,
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I appreciate those
Yeah, no problem.
thoughts on that. That was good. You guys are thought provoking, and I love it.
Thank
We
you.
try to be.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Yeah, you're doing great. Thought at 51 I thought of everything, and look at you guys. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. But no, I've always loved politics. Never enough to want to participate. If I had to serve, I would. But I'm always hoping to find a candidate that I can get behind. I feel like I'm just a normal, average American that cares about her society and her country.
Mm-hmm.
That most of us...
There's less and less of that.
I assume.
That's a rare thing.
That's what I'm finding. Like, I thought everyone was like this. No. I mean, politics doesn't rule my day and my nights, for sure. You know, and it's, season right now. So,
That's all anyone's thinking about.
Right, yeah. So, but no, just the in general of making sure I'm voting correctly and doing my research and getting behind what I should get behind and walking away from things that I don't need to be behind.
Yeah, we were thinking, when we were in our late teens, just a few years ago, we were thinking that involvement in politics was our road, and we even held protests and pamphleted our area with propaganda against the Walmart self-checkouts and things like that. We tried to take a very active role.
Yeah.
And I ended up, our protests were so successful, I ended up getting a meeting with the mayor, just like.
Nice.
Yeah, I was 17, and he called me into his office and just told me to stop and that everything I was saying was stupid.
We were trying to
and he dodged absolutely everything because there was a clear hole where millions and millions of dollars. I feel fine talking about this. Daniel Tarkington is a slime.
Okay.
We should get rid of him. Mayor Daniel Tarkington. Fuck you.
Mayor of Shakota, Oklahoma.
But,
wow.
We took an examine at the budget, and there's $6 million. I think it was $6 million at the time. Dollar surplus just going missing every year. It was right there. It was right there in front of us. And, we had a lot of questions about that. And Shakota, Oklahoma, where we're from, has the second highest sales tax in the whole country at 10.5%. So we went out and picketed that.
Of any.
Wow.
Why should anybody have to pay $10 on $100 worth of groceries? And that's what it is.
If you buy a car there, you're paying thousands
of dollars
extra that are unnecessary when you can drive to the very next county and pay 4%.
So that was keeping
tax.
our economy small. My dad was very involved in politics and the expansion of our economy.
Shuts down business.
If
you can drive 30 minutes away to save half the amount of money, why would you?
And they would. The towns next to us would keep a 6.5-7% tax and lower it every year.
So I've heard of this. Places that have the higher sales tax essentially, though, have the very low property tax. Is that the case here, or is the property tax high as well?
Property tax is low.
It is
but
low.
Our real problem with the sales tax at face value was that it was raised on a vote 10 or 15 years prior to build the prison.
A jail.
Or to build
jail.
the jailhouse in the county.
Yeah, to redo the county jail.
In the county seat, one town over, where Chaz is from.
Which they got paid off within a couple of years.
Which was paid
and
off.
The budget never changed back down to the original tax
and
rate.
that leads to a $6 million, free money going out to this guy and his cronies. So, like, even in our small town environment, cronyism was so prevalent, and we even got bullied out of politics. So that just kind of puts a foul taste in your mouth for the usual way of going about things, like the local politics.
The government is definitely going to bully you right out of their business.
Yes. Yeah, even the local, some of the local community members, like the Lions Club, the Up and Ups up there, the business owners up there, they didn't want it to change.
No, well, there's a reason for that.
Yeah,
yeah. My dad was trying to bring in there's a frontage road where the new high school went, which had $10 million embezzled right off the top. That went nowhere. The foundation's cracking in half, and there's no books in the classrooms. We're only one of the highest sales tax and almost dead last in the nation on education. As far as counties go,
and the lowest life expectancy in the nation.
Yes,
the whole nation.
Shakota, McIntosh County, Oklahoma, Shakota, Eufaula.
What do you guys think that is?
So back in the 60s or 50s, before they built the lake, they put a bunch of radioactive waste material in the bottom of the lake, and then they flooded the lake.
They floated it downstream from the port.
My husband, who works on the dam, he has noticed out of all the lakes that he's been to and dams, this one stinks.
Yep.
Like, it smells foul.
Yeah.
Apparently, at some points.
Yeah, there was just a small civilian and grassrooted investigation. They built the new Zinc Lake over here in Tulsa. I don't know if you've seen that. They made a lake at the gathering place. They dammed it up, and there's a lake down there now. And there's hydrocarbon buildup. The water's cancerous.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's why it stinks. But
Yeah.
because all the pollutants and the toxins in the dead fish.
We got a lot of chemical refineries and stuff like that.
Yeah, Lake Eufaula, where we're from, has giant nuclear catfish, like 20 foot. They're as wide as VW buses. There's pictures of them.
Literally
wow.
as big as a car. Like actually like a car
Yeah, we
size.
lovingly call where we're from the irradiated wasteland, but that's kind of what it is. I mean, and yeah,
We swim in it.
I swam in it growing up, so
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
We can call it
well,
that.
good luck to you guys.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I'll be
Right?
losing a testicle in a couple of years.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's where that goiter's from.
I got you. I was not expecting that answer. I was like, oh, bad food, like, bad,
Yeah, all there is to eat there is McDonald's, Taco Bell, and Charlie's Chicken.
Yeah.
That wasn't. That's got to be a big part of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
And it's also the methamphetamine capital of the entire
I've
country.
seen like some of that going on, kind of like you can
Yep.
tell.
Tweakerville.
Yeah.
Also,
Right.
Dakota is known as the human trafficking capital of the world because of I-40 and 69. They can take him from Mexico all the way to Chicago, and they can run him from L.A. all the way to New York.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So we would get like there would be assemblies about our safety and stuff, like not to go out in the parking lot alone if you're a girl and stuff
Yep.
like that when you get walked to your cars and stuff.
Really freaked me out. The two little girls, two campers down, how they just kind of ran around and nobody was outside with them. One of the girls got missing one day, and
Oh my god.
Marcus and I were like, we gotta go. We gotta find this kid.
Fall asleep in the laundry room.
like,
across the years, yeah.
It's because anybody could ride through here at any time, and it just like
Yeah.
wow, like this
Mhm.
is there's no gates here.
Yeah, it's not gated.
So
Yeah.
that would
Yeah, Tulsa's all right, but it's not the safest city on the planet.
yeah. I'm giving that.
Mhm.
We've heard.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we were out just a few weeks ago, and there was a gunshot on the corner where we were in downtown.
He was telling me. Oh, that's who you were with. When
Yeah, yeah. We were out there
Yeah.
drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Just
It
they
gets
caught the guy
scarier.
though, right?
No.
No.
There's not even, they squashed investigation of it because it's right out in front of a brand new, 6-story, $3,000 a month studio apartment
Very nice
type
development.
building.
A very nice
Oh,
development.
they don't want the bad publicity.
No,
right
drive
now
the
that
property
development's
values
just about to
down
open.
if, kids are killing each other on the street right in front of it.
No one's
Yeah.
going to want to rent there at that new luxurious
So they squashed it.
place.
We looked every day for a week for even one story on it so we could talk about it on the podcast, and there's nothing, so we sound crazy.
Yep. Yeah.
There's not even one,
Yeah.
but,
Like this happened. I was there.
Yeah. We're
That's
the first-hand
but
There
you
was
know
a
what? Is
TikTok
that not
about it.
why you have a podcast to kind of get these things out there though?
Yeah,
Damn
that,
right.
that is huge.
You're damn
this
right
is
about
the first
that.
reporting of
Yes.
it right here. Breaking
Yes.
news.
Yes.
There was somebody died a couple weeks ago.
People need
Sorry,
to know
guys.
about this stuff. And
Right.
it's being squashed for a reason that we don't necessarily know. Right?
Right.
That we think we can.
So we were
fight
just
against.
talking about the
Yeah.
mountains. I'm not watching the news for that. Honestly, my husband is on X and I'm on Facebook,
Mhm.
and I believe what the people there are seeing.
Yeah.
I believe what my friend saw when he was there for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I internalize and believe.
Mhm.
I can't hear a word that the media
Yeah.
is saying and take it anywhere.
When you see this, you believe it.
Right.
It's at an RV park.
Right.
In a lawn.
Yep.
You know?
Nice lawn too, by the way.
Thank
You're
you.
doing good.
Mhm.
Thank you. You just mowed it
Mhm.
this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was perfect timing. Uh-huh.
Good times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. When you're in a studio, there's no belief to it.
That's right.
Yeah, no one's going to watch it.
Well, and also we have
They-
I have personally seen the media just outright lie. Like I was standing there and that did not happen, and now you're saying this, and
Let's
you know what I mean?
Let's
So I can never listen to them again.
Mhm.
What news media is? If I have to watch something, it's usually like Newsmax or the OAN or something like that. Like not Fox even.
really.
Yeah.
I love Tucker. Does anybody love Tucker?
I love Tucker.
Absolutely.
He's
Tucker
the
and,
man.
We're
what's
trying to
his
go
name,
see
on
him
tour?
live.
Are you really?
Yeah, Tucker
Where?
and Alex Jones
Alex
are on
Jones
tour.
Yeah.
We got to find one close to here.
Fun.
I would love to go see Jones in person.
If it's
Yeah.
soon, count me in on that trip.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Should we talk about the big bad?
Yeah, let's go for it.
What was your first exposure to the idea of a protest at the Capitol?
I don't know that it was ever a protest. We were
Okay.
showing up,
That's how the media says.
right, to be heard. We wanted the vote to be fair. I was certainly upset about the vote, not saying. So I had a liberal friend, and she just grabbed my arm and she was like, Tab, do you believe really that the vote was unfair, that the Democrats cheated? Do you believe that? My answer to her was, I don't know, but we need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know for me, and I need to know for you. Like, both sides of this. Katie barred the door. We got to stop and figure this out before we can move forward. It wasn't just the president saying it. You know, all across, people were saying it everywhere. People saw the video of the lady taking a trash bag full of ballots and dumping them in.
Yeah.
You know,
And the lying on the like they'd bring in dead people's
yes,
birth certificates.
Oh,
and
100%.
Get them
That
enrolled
was-
and do mail-in ballots.
that's
from
honestly long been happening.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that was it was the mail-in ballot, the COVID year. That's how they slid it in. You know.
Yeah.
So, because that was new, and because we just weren't sure, I didn't want to tell my grandchildren, when none of you guys had a right to vote anymore, that I was sitting on my couch.
Yeah.
We had to do what we could do, which was the day that they were voting on this, the day Pence let us all down, was stand out there. Like, this is us. And, you know, hopefully they would realize, like, hey, the American people are upset. We do need to kind of stay on this and let's figure it out. That's really all we were asking.
Did you hear about Stop the Steal from Facebook or news?
It was
or
a friend.
It was a friend.
Mhm.
Can
Actually,
you
my
tell
friend
us
on the
about her?
mountain.
Can you tell us about her?
Yes. She was following it closely. I don't know exactly what she heard or how she heard it, except that she called and, you know, a couple of people and was like, hey, we want to take as many people as we can. We've rented a house. We need to be heard on this. Can you go? And, I mean, of course, the answers were yes, 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 to the point we found another group there that of like ladies, and they were like older than us, and there's like a van of them, and we housed them a night and just put them on the floor, and we did everything we could to put as many people in that house as we could.
That's awesome. How big was that initial group before you tacked on your
4 of us, just
Nice.
4 of us, and then the other ladies came rolling in. Once I got there, though, I knew some other people that had organized from Wilmington a bus trip, like a chartered a bus to go, and a couple of people had already signed up for that, so didn't come with us, kind of thing.
like
So
the 60s?
yeah,
It's beautiful. Bus out there.
yep,
Yeah.
that's what they did.
Yeah.
And then I got a call about one of those ladies from her husband while I was there. Tab, I know you're there. I know, like, y'all have a car, and you know, my wife, she didn't make it on the bus, and she said she had 1% left. And I'm like, well, let me call her if
On
I
the
can
car?
find her. Yeah. Then she can just hop with us and we'll get her home, you know.
Nice.
But she actually got on the bus. I don't know what happened there, but anyway, you know, it's fine.
It's a lot of people
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
logistics.
Yeah, there was. But the first lie that we heard the media say was maybe 100 people showed up. That's what we heard the day, January the 6th, that morning when we left at like 7.
Yeah,
'cause
we heard a
had to
lot of
walk.
things about that.
Yeah. We had to walk a long way, but
How many people, in counter to that initial report, how many people would you think you saw on that first day there? And that's the day you said was a bust?
no, none of the days were. They had we were there 3.5 days,
Okay.
and there was something going on there every time. We left on the 7th, so the next day. But when we got there, there were rallies all over D.C. When I say rallies, like we went to one Republican women on this lawn. There was some music over here, you know, down by this fountain. All different types and kinds of speakers. So we had been among these people for days before January the 6th. So
It was like a big convention almost.
yeah,
Where you have, you know, you got food trucks, you got
correct.
You got
Yes.
not enough porta potties though, right?
Oh yes, DC did not want us.
Let's talk about that.
They didn't want us at all. It was
Uh-huh.
so much. So our first night there, my friend that got all of this organized, she was grilling out on this patio, really beautiful, like $5 million home that she rented for this.
That's
And
vacation.
Yeah. So we were just girls having fun,
Yeah.
She was grilling out on the back deck with another friend of ours, and we were all kind of out there having some wine, and we see this huge rat. It's like 2 foot long, like a wolf rat. And all of the decks and backyards kind of like sat in this cove. So we saw this rat go to the neighbor's house with a little dollhouse, like a playhouse, right? So we know the rat's in there. So these people come home, and my friend is like, hey, just letting you know before your daughter goes in there, there's a big rat in there. We just saw it go in. He started, do not speak to my children without a mask on. Oh, yeah, like super rude. Yeah. There were people jogging with masks on, and we'd get on the other side of the street. We got called a super spreader. Like, this girl saw us walking down the street without a mask and went across the way, or this guy rather, and he was like, are you going to arrest them?
Did
like,
she
they're
screech?
super spreaders.
Did she screech like a body snatcher?
Basically,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Whole Foods was like right up the way. It was like a library in there. Like, no one was speaking. They did not have very little. Like, they might have had 2 Rent-A-Johns in front of the Capitol. There might have been 6 or 7 in front of the monument. So that was it.
Yeah.
We got screamed at on the way back one day by some guys about your age. He stopped and was just really like, oh, are you ladies having fun or something? And we're like, yeah, And he just started screaming and cursing at us and stopped at a stop sign. Like, we thought he was going to get out.
Oh, I have a few moments like that. I remember when Trump came to Tulsa, me and my friends went down to go see it. And of course it was like, it was like Aleppo. Or like a Fallujah. Like, there were sandbags and military installments and things looked crazy. But I was one of the people hollering out the window.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, people. I just remember being, I was 17 or whatever.
Yeah.
Or younger, yeah.
Riled up.
Right.
From all the media and the propaganda that is shoved down our throats from educational institutions, from
Yeah, I was told half
media,
the country.
if we want to get a job in the future, those people,
Yeah, I was told half the country are Nazi terrorists who are
literally
who are cooing,
Yes.
that
who
this,
are evil and against us.
and there were a few years where I just walked around believing that.
Yeah.
And that was I was like, really, half of us? And then
Like,
it kind of
okay, I
dawns
guess
on
I have to vote for Bernie Sanders then.
Okay, don't talk to anybody. Don't
And
talk
that
to half the people.
surprises
Stay
me
in my
because
apartment.
You
Be
think
alone, yeah.
Oklahoma is less than that. Like,
You'd think.
you guys all went
We
to
have
school in
cities.
Oklahoma, correct?
Mhm.
I mean, we didn't
Yeah.
grow up in Oklahoma though. We grew up on the internet.
Okay.
That is true.
Like, nobody,
That's very true.
nobody has
Fair
strong.
enough.
I think a real scary thing is because we're told all these roots and all this tradition and things happening around us are bad, and to be on YouTube consuming ads and propaganda. So I mean, that is the world I lived in when I was in high school.
Yeah, and it's funny because you guys asked me like how I got into like loving politics. It was school. Like, they taught us to be patriotic. They taught us to love our history.
Mhm.
These were just normal things for us. But you're saying
We were taught our history.
you had a
class.
different
Our
experience.
Our history, wasn't like American history to the young leftist isn't viewed as this rich, beautiful thing. It's viewed as a massive mistake, and it's you're told to feel a white guilt about it. Like, not only is it bad, it's your responsibility, and you, the straight white male, are a bad person because of it.
And are at fault and must change. You must trans yourself.
That's
You must, literally.
Yeah, that's not no. Like, everything that happened in history, some of it ugly. If it hadn't have happened, how could we have learned from it? We have to learn from it. And if it's not there for us to learn from, we have to know the ugly part of it too, and embrace that part of it, not celebrate it, but just know it. Know how not to repeat it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I feel like at this day and time, we're in the upside down world. Like, it's repeating.
Yeah.
And you just feel like you're running around, like, yelling, this is happening again, and no one's listening. So, yeah. So it was still pretty racial, kind of, sort of, when I was in high school. Our early 20s, a friend of mine, she has interracial children, and my sister-in-law did, and they were my babies, and in our own social network, the people around us, that's how we felt like we had solved it. Like, our kids weren't going to be harmed by racism. We were determined, and lovingly got it done. And we looked around in the 90s at each other and we're like, hey, we did it. Kids are in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's fine. Everybody's being accepted and loved.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's over. It's really over. We believed we had fought that war and won. And then Obama happened.
I mean, yeah, until I was about 12, 14. That's how I was coming. I grew up in California. I was literally, the first time I heard the word faggot was in Oklahoma. Used against me, of course, but
bless your heart.
Uh-huh.
I mean, look at me.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, I literally, as a 9-year-old, had to have my mom explain to me what a fag was, because growing up in California at the time, it's the racism, it wasn't even on the table. It wasn't right. It wasn't in my vocabulary.
No, and that's how we were raising our kids in North Carolina, which you see, like Oklahoma, was a little bit of a harder sell.
Yeah.
But until people are exposed to certain things in a good light, it's just ignorance. Like, I don't necessarily think the kid that called you a faggot was bad. He was just
Another kid.
He didn't know anything about it. It different to him. Sometimes different scares us.
Yeah, but even that was handled. Yeah. That was handled in such a way that, like, this kid didn't. I was fortunate enough to have parents with, like, reasonable sense, and that wasn't handled in such a way that, like, well, now the group of people that did that to you are evil, and that's why it's an inherent evil because they're Republican or whatever it was. That wasn't discussed really, and that is the narrative about people like yourself that were at the Capitol. That's what we heard. Is that these people are there because they're racist. Insurrectionists. They're cooing the country.
Yeah,
so that's one of my questions. I was going to ask you. What do you think what do you think? I mean, did you feel a strong white supremacist presence at the Capitol?
Non-existent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know of anybody's heart there. There was no organized group there at all. Because listen, we would have been pissed.
Yeah.
If
the KKK showed up.
Then we would probably have ceased being peaceful. Like, that would have pissed us off.
What do you think about the Proud Boys?
They were there, and they were, intentionally, I guess from what I heard, normally wear colors or whatever, but they intentionally dress just like everybody else to blend in. And from what I understood, their heart was to make sure there was some group there named, like, I never saw, but in case Antifa showed up, they wanted to be among us in order to protect us because they didn't trust the government to do so. You could kind of tell because they would just be standing there where the rest of us were moving and listening. This guy dressed like Chaz would just be, kind of standing there and
like
looking opposite ways. Yeah. That's what
just
they
making
were.
Sure nothing goes wrong.
Right. And
keeping
they weren't
safe.
harmless as far as I know.
Literally just keeping you safe.
Absolutely.
Speaking of Antifa, what do you think? I mean, I already have an opinion on this. This might seem like a leading question, but I mean, what do you think Antifa is?
I know they're a hate group.
Yeah.
And I know that they hate conservatives.
You think they are actual civilians? Because where I was going with that, I think you might subscribe to this. I think there are people there that the Proud Boys might have been looking for, like you were talking about, whose job is to instigate and escalate the situation out of control.
And I do think there were a couple of them there dressed in plain clothes because you could hear, like, we were such a peaceful group. You'd hear, like, this one guy, like, screaming.
Let's burn it down.
Like that guy. And everyone was just looking at him like, what the hell is up with him? Like,
Yeah.
Kind of like that. So do I think they were there kind of doing that thing? Yeah.
Because, I mean, while we're talking populist movements, I think the most famous hijacking of one of these movements by sort of escalators and by government or, potentially, whatever intelligence, whatever you want to call it, deep state operatives, to escalate. I think the BLM protests and things like
Absolutely.
that in places
100%.
like the Chaz and the Chad in Seattle 100%. And Portland.
And I don't understand this because you guys are newly conservative, we'll say that. So, like, for the liberals, I mean, you can't put together for yourself. Months before we were there, BLM was in D.C.
Mm-hmm.
They were looting stores.
Yeah.
They were setting fires.
Yeah.
We did
Actual
none
property,
of that.
Actual property crime.
Yeah,
Unpunished, by the way.
right.
Unpunished.
Right. And celebrated even.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I will tell you what I saw there. We helped the homeless. We were giving the cops coffee. It was cold.
Yeah.
You know, there was none of that from us. None of it. You can't find me a store owner that said one negative thing about us.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't understand, like, why can't they put that part together?
Yeah.
You didn't see any store owners. You didn't see any real people besides the government saying we did anything bad.
Yeah.
There was nobody, oh, they broke my window and, you know, they stole my, you know, whatever. Like, there was none of that. So, I mean, I'm interested, like, how they're not putting that together, what they say about that.
0 firsthand reports of any actual property crime from you guys.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Because those same just average people, I mean, we got attacked personally
Mm-hmm.
just for being there
Yeah.
by people
Mhm.
that we've known for years.
Yeah, it was a countrywide, multi-national, even probably operation to literally just defame you guys.
Yeah.
Launched it like a global narrative.
Yep.
Launched.
And I mean, it was the most surreal
Yeah.
thing leaving there. It was just like, what?
Yeah.
We didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
So, can you tell us about the media interactions when you got there?
Can you
In
guys
their
keep going? I
little
gotta
cage
pee.
and box? Fantastic. Or do you want to take a full cut? We got a bee around us.
If y'all want to try some mullein, I will share it with you. Heather says she's going to roll the mullein up like a cigarette for me.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
So, yeah.
You guys are gonna be smoking mullein spliffs?
Yeah, it's funny. This lady in the camper over here,
Uh-huh.
I saw her growing mullein in one of her little pots
Really?
with her flowers.
Oh, the one with all the plants over there?
Hmm. You can drink it as a tea.
Did you
too,
pause the
but-
machine?
No.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
No, we're good.
Sorry. I was making sure we were on a
Let me
continuous
get
thing.
back here.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't stop recording. What was anything
What?
we need? Yeah. In the box. Yeah, we got the fight and the fury back in. By the way, we like that good.
Okay.
Put your game face on.
All right. I'll get worked up.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
That's funny.
All right, ready to jump back in?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We left off before the piss break at media interactions at the gathering itself. I mean, what do you call it? Do you just call it
So-
January 6th?
Can you tell us about how
We have all kinds of names for it, making fun of it. You
Yeah.
know, the most pitiful insurrection. You know, I've been beat down to like, oh, I'm an insurrectionist. You know, I'm really not. I'm just
That's the only term I
middle-aged
had
lady that
ready
just
for
went
it.
out
It's
to
insurrection.
be heard about voting. That's all it was.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
What
a
it-
citizen
Yes.
telling their voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I thought we could still do that in our country. I believed that we could when I went.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I left without that belief,
Yeah.
you know. And so now we're doing this.
Uh-huh.
So when you mentioned you were doing it, remember I was so excited.
Yes.
Like that is the new way
Uh-huh.
to get out there and be heard.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we're as
So-
grassroots as it gets out here.
Uh-huh.
literally. In the grass.
Yeah. Right in the
Mhm.
right
Yeah,
in the grass.
right in the grass.
Uh-huh.
So the media,
Yeah.
they were,
In their box.
yeah,
like a shark cage.
I swear
Shark cage.
to
Yes.
God,
Yeah.
Well,
they
there
were.
There were Republicans. out there.
Gotta stay
Gotta stay safe.
I gotta save myself. I
They
got a wife and
weren't.
children.
They were. If I say that, if we mistreated anyone, when I say mistreated, we just get away from us.
Teasing. You could
Yeah,
call it. Teasing.
maybe flip them off or something.
Not even a hazing. Not even frat level hazing. We're talking about teasing.
I mean, as far as the
Yeah.
media
Yeah.
goes, you should treat them like the enemy. I mean, anything they
were.
gather is going to be misconstrued and sold to us, so they can pump Pfizer ads. It's
Yes.
They were.
are the enemy.
Yes, they
Yeah.
are literally the enemy.
They were.
Yes.
Some of them were venturous enough to. We'd see them out, and they have on like a big camera under their jacket.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of us, my friend brought it up to me because at one point I was just doing a live Facebook feed. I was telling Chad I'd never even done a live Facebook feed, but just had to stand out there and figure it out because they were lying so badly on us. And she did it. She went on down, and yeah, like there were people, the media was acting like they were one of us just to get us talking. You know, they would do things like that. They were being slightly tricky. And then at the end, yes. So you're from Oklahoma. You know about the cages. Like, it looked like a round pen.
Yeah.
Like it was just
cattle.
a round pen.
For cattle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's where they ended up just having to be. You know.
Nuts.
So, yeah. But we
literally from the state fair cages that they put the
journalism
show
used to
cattle
be like a noble, brave pursuit.
Yeah, you'd
like
wear
where
a
are all
suit
the
and tie
journalists?
Yeah.
and think of yourself highly and
and people thought highly of you.
Yes,
Yeah.
because you were doing important work.
That's exactly right.
This is important work.
And now you're writing articles about, take this quiz to
BuzzFeed.
find out how gay you are.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, that's
Literally.
what it's become.
Hard-hitting
Uh-huh.
journalism.
I mean,
Take your IQ score here, based off of these movies.
I don't know why anybody would want to go and endeavor to be a police officer now or a journalist. That has to be, like, what kid is saying they want to grow up to do that now?
Yeah.
None of them.
Nobody.
But the first thing that we heard about the media,
There's no Ken Burns afoot.
we were
No.
in front of the monument, and we were all out there literally to keep warm. It was freezing.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the YMCA to keep warm.
Mm.
Like we were playing music and just, keeping it going,
Watch the white
Right.
supremacists as they do their dance. This is how they communicate.
And I had a girl call me. I wouldn't even really call her friend. She just called me. I'm like, this is so odd. This chick is calling me right now so early in the morning. But she called and she was like, Tab, like, you're there? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, I'm watching this on the news. It says like only 100 of you showed up. That was between 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what? There's a sea of people as far as my eyes can see from the monument to the White House.
They like to do that. That was the thing with the Trump inauguration too.
Yeah.
Like supposedly, record lows for a guy who won the populist vote is very strange.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's that dance thing that they do on the television? Where they get a bunch of girls and the thing they had it at the fit competitions. They do the
Zumba?
music. Zumba. So you're telling me it was like 100 housewives doing Zumba, and the media is telling me it's a bunch of Nazis?
Correct.
Correct.
What the fuck?
Correct.
How did you as a group actually end up in the Capitol? Were you there for that? Did you get to step foot in the Capitol?
No.
Yeah.
No. We started walking when Trump was talking because it was loud and there were so many people. It was my sister-in-law was with us and she was claustrophobic. She was doing really good. Like, you're doing so good today, But we started kind of snaking our way, holding on to each other through the crowd to go ahead and get out and start heading toward the Capitol.
Agoraphobic from all the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, thousands of people.
That's
Correct.
claustrophobia.
You got agoraphobic.
I am
Yeah.
not claustrophobic or
I've never got scared of a crowd of 100 people.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I was, if this goes bad, you don't want to be like right in the middle of all this.
Mm-hmm.
So we go ahead and start heading to the Capitol. We were, on the way to the Capitol. So a lot of people were walking. It was just a lot of people. And standing in the middle of the street. And if you know me, I love a good costume.
Yes.
Like, I'm a costume person.
Yes.
Like, love them,
Yeah. Yes.
So there's this dude, and he's standing in the middle of the street. First of all, with no shirt on. And I'm not saying that to be woo-woo. I'm saying that because I'm a mom, and he's got to be freezing.
0 degrees out here. And he's shirtless with body paint on. You know that's hard. You need a jacket, honey?
Yeah.
You want to wear my sweater, honey?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and he was great costume, face painted, horns on top of his head.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the guy. This is
Yeah.
the goat.
guy.
Oh,
This
I
is
love
the
this
guy. This is the
So
actor.
he was standing in the middle of the street, and he was chanting this one word that I 100% believe in. So another girl
What was that word?
that was there,
Let her cook.
the other girl that was there, she was like, "Oh, he's terrible. He's Antifa." And I'm like, you know what? I don't care what he is. he was saying this one phrase that I believed in.
Mm-hmm.
So I told my sister-in-law, who's a photographer, and I'm like, get a picture. Get a picture. Can I?
Yes.
And so he wouldn't stop chanting. I look at him and like, can I get a picture? You know, kind of. And he was like, he was chanting freedom. He
Freedom.
just stood there in the street in the middle of all of it, chanting freedom. Loud as he could, proud as he could. And well, then you see the picture, and I'm like, you know, my friend with me, she's like, Tab, you really gumped that one up. I think Forrest gumped it up. So we just kept walking, and then, but like, we were starving, so we are on the food trucks. The food trucks are parked right beside the Capitol. We ate a cheesesteak if anybody's interested.
Nice.
Like,
I actually
happened?
was about to ask about the food trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, were they good?
They were really good.
How many of them were
It
there?
was a good cheesesteak.
Yeah.
We were not lying. It was good.
How
What was the-
many?
Yeah, what was the food truck presence?
Uh-huh.
Probably about 7 or 8. I mean,
That's
again,
that's
they
a good.
didn't.
That's like at the gathering place the other night.
Yeah,
Wow, that's pretty good.
It was, but not for that amount of people. But we
Yeah.
again had kind of got ahead of the crowd a little,
Uh-huh.
so we were able to get a decent amount of time when we were sitting there. And as we're sitting there, we're watching all the people come up the steps. So steps are huge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
It's
there's a
Rocky
lot of
steps.
steps.
Rocky-style steps.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I'm not great with height.
It's the damn
so
Capitol. It better be.
It better
It better be grand.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it was. It's very grand.
That's
and,
awesome. I wanna go.
So we saw them all up there, and we're like, wow, like we're never gonna get on those steps. Like we weren't even thinking of entering. Like we were just thinking we can't even get to the daggone steps. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, we eat. We were 3 blocks. The house we were staying in was 3 blocks behind the Capitol, and that will be important
That's
for the
close.
story later.
Okay.
We went back to the house to use the bathroom, you know, get different clothes on, more clothes, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
than what we had on. It was cold. And we turned on the news,
Mm-hmm.
and things just started going downhill there. They were interviewing, like, I get it, it's their job, and they're trying to sensationalize.
Yeah.
But out of all of those people, and I will swear to you that they were all good, you're going to have at least 10, 15 off the chain kind of people.
Oh yeah, they're counting
Happens
on
in
it.
every crowd.
You know,
Nobody got
That's
time
cool.
for that.
Right.
They're counting on it.
yeah. And they were just provoking these people, and just it was just a mockery, really. There were several groups, like when we were when we were doing the YMCA, you could hear like the crazy, like off the chain abortion people
Mm-hmm.
preaching and screaming.
Yeah.
And you know,
The
when I
Westboro Baptist
say
Church there.
5, logistically there were probably like 20.
Yeah.
But out of all of those people, and what you did is you just got away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
you
you
don't
just
associate yourself with them.
right, like
Yeah.
you just
Run
got
with
away.
the dogs, you get the fleas.
Right. So
Yeah.
we just kind of got away from those kind of things.
Yeah.
But not too many. There were those abortion people, and then that one crazy guy on the steps. But so we get going. We get all dressed back up because we're heading back to the Capitol.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're walking down the street. It was so surreal.
Uh-huh.
My husband called me, and it was like, he's not a man of many words, but when he speaks, like you hear him. And he had been worried about me going, you know.
Uh-huh.
So he calls, and he was like, "Where you at?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, we're on the about 2 blocks away, maybe from the Capitol. We just left the house."
Poggers indeed, co-host.
Yes.
Thus concludes episode 1 of our January 6th holiday special. Catch us tomorrow, January 7th, for part 2. We got a whole another hour 20 probably of raw right-wing content. We gotta restart. Poggers. And so it is. Thus concludes episode 1 of our January 6th extravaganza holiday spectacular. That's the full name.
Oh, good.
And tomorrow, January 7th, we will conclude with part 2 of this interview. And that's a whole nother, hour 20 of first-hand January 6th coverage.
Bye-bye, folks. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening.
Bye.
Thank you
Thank
much.
you guys.
Bye-bye.
As always.
Enjoy.